Good morning, our kooky little clandestine clan. From the mouth of Alan Cumming and now us, we welcome you back to another episode, another breakdown of the Traitors US, Season 4, Episode 6, Planning a Coup. Imani, score right off the bat.
Five.
It was a five.
Five.
Could I grow another sixth finger? Because I would give it.
Oh, yes. Cookie. Yeah, no, it was great. I loved it. It was really good. I will admit to you that I spent at least 5 minutes yesterday crying about something based off of a TikTok edit. By the way,
Uh-oh.
spoilers ahead.
Oh, the spoilers are coming. They're
Um,
coming hard.
do you want me to say why, or do you want to
Yeah,
just. Oh
please.
my gosh, you guys. The thought of Ron eating by himself, the only person eating by himself, literally shattered my heart into a million pieces. Obviously, I saw it when we watched it, but when I was on TikTok and I saw an edit of it, oh my goodness, I was not well. I was not well. I felt so bad. Thank God for Ron and Rob's friendship.
Thank goodness. And I saw elsewhere that he called Stephen Coletti a really good
Well,
guy.
of
And
course, of course.
obviously, that meant a lot to me too. Honestly, justice for Ron Funches. I mean, that man, I've been a fan of his for years. I love his comedy. I think he's adorable. He deserves so much better than the castle gave him.
Do you want to talk about the recent news that came of it, though?
Yes. And then don't let me forget to circle back to Dorinda.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so if you haven't seen in the news, after obviously we saw the episode, he announced that he has been diagnosed with autism and that his oldest son, who's in his 20s, is also on the spectrum. So he has seen the
Right.
life of an autistic person growing up, his son, and then just different things. He was mid-diagnosis, then finally officially got the diagnosis and talked about it. And as somebody with experience working with people with special needs,
Yeah.
he is the most like I hate to use the word textbook because I mean that's the thing. They're
I
like
mean,
this. It's like a snowflake almost, in this not like
it's
that derogatory way politically,
no,
but
no,
like how
no.
every snowflake is
It's
unique,
different.
is
Yeah.
different, like a fingerprint. That's how the autism community is. All bring
Correct.
something different to the table.
Yeah.
And he is just, there were some things said on the show that I was just like, oh, like Dorinda literally said he at one time, she's like, he seems traitorous because at one moment he's verbal and concise, and the next minute he's observant and quiet. And I'm like, he's neurodivergent. That is literally like describing a neurodivergent person. And she was like making it seem like that made him treacherous. Or, yeah,
Yeah,
traitorous, I should
treacherous.
say. Treacherous,
Well,
traitorous.
I don't know if you've been following Ron on Threads. Actually, I'm going to do a story on this, but he alluded to something about like something extremely nasty that Dorinda said to him because he was like, it seems like I was very aggressive toward Dorinda for no reason. There were reasons, but you guys didn't see it. So I'm very curious to know what Dorinda said. I think the reunion is going to be interesting. I think the reunion is going to be the most explosive of all the reunions to date.
Ooh. Well, and also, like, will Colton even show up?
If he doesn't, I'll be annoyed.
Honestly, and the only reason I mentioned that is because if he does any press, there's and I can't prove this. Nobody's reached out to us.
Yet.
But he's saying like things you can't talk about, and Cassie and that relationship where he stalked her
Right.
parents, tracking devices, caught outside like her parents' house in the middle of the night, like his behavior in this episode, the way he was creeping was actually maybe because I knew his history. I actually felt disgusting watching him at certain points in this episode.
Well,
Like,
you're not wrong because Kristen Kish, who I don't think actually knows his history, gets a bad vibe from him. So, yeah, he just gives off bad energy. He is going to be on an upcoming episode of Watch What Happens Live. To your point, I'm sure none of that will be brought up via Andy. So very interested to see what that comes of that. But let's get into the episode. There's a lot to talk about, even though
yes.
we're only getting one here on out.
Yeah, and I love having one,
Me
honestly, because
too.
you can
Huge fan.
and this was such a juicy episode. Did we talk about this last week? Because from what I understand, the rumor is that it was supposed to be a 3 episode drop, and then ones from there on out. But they were so eager to get Michael Rappaport out, and they realized what a huge backlash he was getting that they put those 2 episodes just to keep people on board. Makes
I
sense.
did not hear that theory, but that makes extreme sense to me.
Yeah, so it was really nice going into breakfast, starting the episode, Sam and main character energy again. Nobody took a shield. Did you think anybody would?
I didn't think they would. Why would they? This it was a surefire way for no one to get banished.
Exactly, exactly. I think that if they weren't in the big groups, then they had the groups of the shields in groups of 4. But Candace, I thought of you. I laughed so hard. She's at
Why?
breakfast. They mentioned that there's going to be a cabin. She goes, "Oh, is it indoors?" And I know that if there's an option to do something indoors, that's
100.
going to be you because like air
I'm opting for
conditioning.
it. I'm opting
Yeah,
for
running
it.
water, fair. And Candace, I was like, oh, you little, what is that? You summer, I can't
What do
think of
you
the expression, but like, you little summer, spring, whatever. She just was so naive in that moment. And I was just like, oh, you have no idea what's coming to you inside that cabin.
You know what? Something I would never, and speaking of cabins, something that I never thought I would ever say in my entire life is I miss a little bit Tom Sandoval. I miss it a little bit. I miss it a little bit. I'm gonna say it. Sorry. Don't boo me.
Wow. No, I enjoyed him on the show last year, but I'm not missing him at all.
It just reminded me of the challenge last season where he was being, oh my gosh, so yeah, when he was like speaking into the or the doll thing.
It
Yeah.
got good.
So it made
Oh,
me a little tad nostalgic for that, and I would have been interested to see how him and Eric with the perfect pitch, how that would have worked. So that just makes me laugh. So I just wanted to call that out. Let me know if you guys in the comments like miss a little bit of that from last season.
that was so funny. I mean, it was a Halloween costume.
Yeah.
Need I say more? If it
Yeah.
makes it to gay Halloween, it's iconic.
Complimentary.
Therefore, Tom Sandoval did that. Absolutely credit where credit is due on that one. Back at the castle in the kitchen, we had Dorinda accuse Ron of being neurodivergent without saying you're neurodivergent. Like,
Right,
I
exactly.
was
We
just
had
like,
Dorinda diagnosing with the worst way.
oh my gosh. And I love Dorinda. I
Of
like to think that
course.
I'm friendly with Dorinda. We're friendly with Dorinda. I mean, we had massages together. I That's not the Dorinda I saw, but the fact that she's had like issues like this in the past, like deep issues with people, like I'm excited for more information.
I think that what it is that she doesn't have a filter at all. There's no thought from should I say this and should I not? And I think she needs to work on that. I think she needs to work on that. And also I think it's hard because when you're filming shows like this, like you know that you're wanting to sensationalize it and give moments. So maybe Dorinda thinks she's trying to give a moment, but the issue is it's falling flat, especially now because the man actually is autistic. So it doesn't land and it makes Dorinda look really, really bad.
Oh gosh, yes, yes. Wow, that one was tough. We head over to the study and we see Ron and Rob playing chess. And this
Uh
is just one of the bromance
Hard
moments
eye
that I was just
emoji.
like, heart eye emoji. First of all, he's smart. Rob, Ron, we love you, but we're talking about Rob here. Rob is so hot. He's smart. He plays chess. Like after they
Literally.
played, oh my God. And like the way they talked to each other was just so positive.
I
Like,
think Rob, you last week you guys this was messing with me too, the names. But I think Rob sees Ron.
mhm.
And it was really interesting because I thought Rob almost gave himself away in this moment because he said to Ron, people think I'm stupid and that I'm not like capable of these things because of how I look and, whatever. And he was like, no, I pegged you as not like that at all just because you're from the South, like you're whatever. And I almost thought Rob gave himself away in that moment, but Ron said on threads he was like I wish that I picked that up. He was like I didn't think he was a traitor at all. He was like by that point I knew I was going home. I was so like mentally depleted, so he's like I didn't even catch on to him like to him saying that. And I was like fair. Honestly
Yeah,
fair.
right. And our boyfriend Rob saying for somebody like Ron, being in a crowded room is sometimes the loneliest place.
I know.
Like, it makes you remember why Leah got like literally so spun out in life. Like, she had a literal crash out when he ended up with another girl. And it's like, yeah, fair.
Well, who doesn't
On
want
Love Island.
right? Who doesn't want a calm, muscular, attractive person to like calm them down? That's like literally forget my Zoloft. Whenever I'm like having a moment, I'm like, Rob, okay, affirmations tell me, okay, you're Imani, you're fine, you're good. Okay, great. Like we
I
all
just want
need
to play
that.
chess with them. I'm sorry. And when I say play chess, let me restate that to learn how to play chess. He can teach me. I'm a very, very good audience and very eager to
And
learn.
I'm very light and petite, and it can be hoisted over your shoulder if needed. Just saying.
It's like Santa with his bag of gifts. Just whoop,
Yes.
and you're gone.
Also, extreme
Obsessed.
sarcasm. I am not light nor petite. So just want to put that on the floor. People are like, "You're Lisa Barlow. You're delusional." I'm not. It's called a joke. You guys hate humor.
Who
Okay.
doesn't hate humor is Johnny Weir. Because in the library, first of all, we saw the Olympian like doing the math and calculating scores and votes. In that moment, he's like, okay, there's this many of us. If we have 8 votes and we're faithfuls, we can get out traitors just by the numbers. So he's doing that, and the goal is to get Colton out.
I feel like this was the first time like the faithfuls are actually it failed, but like actually like tapping in and clocking in because as of now I'm voting for the traitors. Like I'm rooting for them and I'm not necessarily rooting for the faithfuls at this point because like none of them are like locking in. Like come
None
on
of
you
them.
guys.
They're doing a terrible job.
Terrible.
Respectfully, they're doing a terrible job. Donna Kelsey was the only one that got, and she was so obviously a traitor that it is insane that it was like too obvious. So yeah, no,
I feel
I
like
was ready.
they're more like fighting this season amongst each other. And so, like, that's also a distraction. So, they got out Michael Rappaport, which great. But now you guys are still turning on one another. You guys need to sit down. Johnny tried. I was so happy for Johnny to like strategize and gameplay this season or this episode because I'm like, thank you. Come on, faithfuls. Get yourselves
Exactly.
together.
Yeah. So while this one group is like literally conspiring to get rid of Colton, which please do, we jump over to the fireplace area where Colton and Natalie are talking. He convinces Natalie that Lisa Rinner,
I mean, hey, that's how they say it in some parts of the world. You're not wrong.
all of a sudden I'm Ken Todd.
No, literally, you're
Ken Todd just came out of my mouth.
Zundable.
Shout
Shout out Vanderpump Rules.
Shout out Vanderpump Rules. Shout out to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Put Lisa Rinna on this cast. Or why not Rinna?
Vanderpump.
Vanderpump on this cast. And also, how chaotic would it be to put
So you did
I
cut
thought about that this week.
you cut out for me, so I didn't hear who you said.
Shannon Bedore.
Oh yeah, she would be a good one.
How absolute chaotic would that be? Anyway, we have Colton and Lisa finally are like, hey, you know what? Or Natalie are like, Lisa could be the one. And at that point, Colton has done this a couple times. He's like, watch out for people's reactions. When I say Lisa, look and see who reacts. And I'm like, don't make me give Colton any flowers right now, but he's at least one step ahead.
No, again, balanced media. We wouldn't be friends with Colton personally. That's not the task of this game. It's literally a game. But I will say Colton is being wise regarding his, perception of Lisa. He's 100. He called her 1,000,000%. It is Lisa, and the fact that he's gonna have that vindication at some point kills me. He doesn't deserve it. But
He
yeah,
doesn't deserve Lisa effing Rinna. Sorry, Colton.
that pop off Lisa effing Rena's monologue to him.
You
You
know,
wanted this war, you got it.
and let's just talk about for a second. This is exactly why I think cancel culture is such BS. I agree. She had a terrible couple seasons as
For
a
sure.
housewife. Lisa Rinna was just terrible to watch. This is why I never say goodbye to anybody because I really feel like there's a place for people and she's in her element. She's giving us great TV. The haters are going to hate. You know what? I started off as a Lisa Rinna fan. I watched Days of Our Lives. I watched Melrose Place. I know her as an actress, a red carpet correspondent, a TV host. Renna, I
Multi
saw you
hyphenate Lisa
before.
Rinna.
I see you after.
It's a
Iconic.
bummer, you guys. Here's a little inside tea. When Lisa left Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, she blocked almost all of the Bravo fan accounts. So it sucks because we can't even see what Lisa's posting because we're
That's
blocked. We're,
unfortunate.
we're blocked on Instagram. We're blocked on TikTok. Thankfully, she didn't block like our personals. But like, yeah, no, it sucks. When Lisa left Beverly Hills because of how much she was hated and how she went out, she blocked like almost every Bravo account. So it really sucks because I'm like, Lisa, unblock us. That's the thing. Like things go, you're in. What did Heidi Klum say? One day you're in, the next
And
day
the
you're
next
out.
day you're out.
So that's the thing.
Yes.
You're 100% right. Lisa is having a renaissance. I think anyone that goes on Traitors,
Renaissance.
exactly. I think anyone who goes on Traitors, like minus Colton, it does reinvigorate their careers. Not that
Right.
Lisa Rinna needed it, but like being liked is big, regardless of your IMDb. You know what I mean? Like she's very liked right now.
Well, she's iconic. She's doing exactly what she should be. I'm signed up and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
We went to the Sprinter van before the mission, and that was the first time you heard the traitors start to crack. Colton that tells the people in the car that he's going for Lisa, but he's still voting for Ron, but to keep everybody's eyes on Lisa.
Yeah.
And then he explicitly asked Robbie Bobby what he thinks about it being Lisa. And I think in this moment, Rob did the right thing and said, it's plausible.
You know what? I hate to side with a man, I really do. But people are like, this just goes to show men will always do what's in their best favor. And I agree with that sentiment. But in this context, I genuinely don't agree with that. He writing down Lisa's name at the round table, which to me speaks to what you're saying right now. It was the best gameplay for him because morally he was like, I can't write down Ron. Like, I just can't. Like, I'll feel like a POS if I do that. And him and Colton are friends in the castle, and people know that. So if he wrote down either of those names, he couldn't live with himself and he would look suspicious. I don't think him writing down Lisa was the bad play at all. At all. I think he played it just right, but he's getting a lot of backlash about that online.
See, and as somebody, I don't think you watched his season of Love Island. It was very triggering watching him choose. And in this moment, I don't think he did anything
Yeah,
wrong.
I saw
He
that
didn't.
parallel on Love
Yeah,
Island. Yeah.
he didn't in this moment throw Lisa under the bus. He literally just said it's plausible. So if he would have defended Lisa in that moment, it would have been suspicious on her. It would have been suspicious
Exactly.
on him. He left it open. He didn't incriminate her. He didn't not incriminate her. He said it in his hot brooding way. Perfect. Later on, I was very disappointed in him for breaking up.
I
I am.
wasn't.
I just knowing him, knowing the relationship he had. Okay, so this is interesting lore, and trust me, it's Traitors related. In Love Island, the villa, his best friend was Aaron. Aaron, before he was ever on Love Island, was on the Traitors season one of
I
UK, where it
saw
was all
that.
normal people. So in the villa, these two men teamed up and were very gross in their bromance versus other people being women. Aaron had a girl back at the villa that he was committed to. The second he gets to Casa Amor, he is doing everything under the sun with this other girl. Wants to bring this other girl back, but is worried that Kaylor has somebody else. And, like, if she doesn't have anybody, I want Kaylor. But if Kaylor's not available, I want Daniela. So gross. So he got robbed to bring this woman back. He literally used these two men used a woman as collateral, as like a bargain, like a plan B.
But I don't
I
know that
don't
we
like the
should.
way he treats women.
I don't think that's fair to say. I mean, that's your opinion, but I don't think that's fair in this context to like I think he did. I'm not faulting him for writing Lisa's name. I think any other option would have been a bad decision. I mean he was really in a lose-lose-lose situation.
He could have written anybody at the table's now name though as a throwaway vote. But
Yeah,
instead he piled on Lisa
but
and could have been
who's
like, dude, I'm so sorry. I just needed a throwaway vote. Like I don't know what to do.
that would be
Like,
so weird if he wrote
yeah,
down a
nobody's
random
done that.
name at the
Yeah, you're
like that,
right.
and that would then would get the attention on him.
That
Like
would get the attention on him. You're
exactly.
right. As soon as I
So
said that, I was like, yeah, no, that doesn't fly.
yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know, but this is where bias comes into the show. And I think that's something that we really need to talk about in the lens of this show. Lisa Rinna said it later after the banishment, and we'll get there in a second. But Lisa wanted Colton to say, I thought I knew who you were. And she's like, there you have it. You had a preconceived notion of me. And I think people's personal biases go into this very,
Oh, a
very
hundred percent.
significantly.
A
And that's
hundred
one of those
percent.
moments where, like, I know I have a bias against him because I've watched Love Island and I didn't like the way he treated women. So
But
now
also,
I'm going
Ashley,
into
you need
this.
to, on the other side, you didn't like when Colton did that with Lisa Rinna, the
Yeah,
bias.
yeah. Yeah, no, it's all bias. So I'm calling out my own bias. You're absolutely right. Like
Yeah.
there's bias written all over this. No, we all have our personal bias. I said on our most recent episode of Salt Lake City, my own bias against Meredith has me having all this stuff. But then I saw another piece of evidence, and then I clocked myself like, oh, you have a bad feeling about this person, and you let that slide in.
Yeah.
That's bias.
Bias is super difficult in contexts like this because, again, I hate to give Colton his flowers, never want to do that. But he's right. The Lisa Rinna that we all know, she was playing it so different in the castle. But again, that's gameplay, that's strategy. So
Hmm.
I just don't understand that. He's like, well, so do you want to? Okay, so Lisa went to TikTok, LOL. We didn't see it on our Instagram, but I saw it on my TikTok. She was saying how when Colton was like, yeah, she's so different, she was like, exactly, like I wanted to come into the castle like not being over the top because then I would immediately have a target on my back. So she was like, I intentionally was, falling back, and then, she was a traitor. So she was like, why would I put scent on myself just because to make you feel good about me and my persona on Housewives?
Right.
So it's so true. It's like, I don't know that I would go in on 10 either.
Oh, absolutely not. I don't want to have to maintain that the whole time.
Exactly. So it's strategy, it's gameplay.
Yeah, but I also, like you said, I have a lot of bias towards Colton because I watched him on The Bachelor. I know his backstory and he gives me the ick. So watching him follow Lisa down that hallway gave me the creeps. But my mom, who doesn't know his history, thinks he's quite charming.
Well, let's talk about him talking to Lisa. That was crazy.
His energy is so gross to me.
He wants a gotcha so bad, and I again don't want to give Colton flowers, but I laughed just based off of him saying this and Lisa's reaction. By the way, Lisa's a terrible liar. When he was like, "I'll protect you at the round table if you protect me in the turret," and I was like, "What? You are insane, Colton. You are insane."
Yes, yes. No, that was wild. I we didn't have like the mission didn't drive like a whole lot of storyline this
Right.
time. But just real quick, the cabin in the woods, is that your biggest nightmare? Or is there something worse than that?
I will say it's not simply because I'm not running uphill.
Okay,
So for that, I will be scared.
right.
Like that's fine.
It made me crazy, and I say this with love for Candace. Like she doesn't contribute in the physical challenges. Like at some point you got to buck up. And like I
Yeah.
know it's scary, but you know everything's going to be okay.
It's a game. Yeah,
It's a
exactly.
game. It's all staged. Like, contribute. Don't run out and be the first person that has to take shelter when you don't contribute much to the other games. Like, hold your
Exactly.
weight, girl.
You
That
know
drove me
what?
crazy.
Fair point. Candace has not been holding her weight when it comes to the challenges. She really hasn't.
That's the thing. Like, where I can't contribute to like physical things, I'm amazing with puzzles. Give me a haunted house, I'm fine. Like, all those things. Like, I am very good in other ways and will carry my weight. I just don't see her picking up the slack for what she can't do.
I'm honestly shocked that more people aren't looking at Candace as a traitor simply for that. Um, I don't know if you've watched these, and I think they need to start putting them at the end of the episodes because when they show the faithfuls who are banished finding out who the traitors are, it's very, very interesting. I watched them on TikTok. I think they might put them on Instagram too from the Traitors account. And none of them suspect Candace. They're like, she's playing a
Wow.
really, really, really good game. They're like, absolutely no one suspects her right now in the castle, per them.
Love it. You know what? That's great. That means she's perfect. She is literally a perfect choice for, and honestly, it was so smart of them to put two housewives in the Traitors this
Turret,
batch
yeah,
because nobody would suspect. They would think, oh, there's going to be a gamer, there's going to be an
exactly.
entertainer, there's going to be a housewife. And they didn't do that, and that was just so brilliant.
Exactly.
So after the challenge, we end up back at the castle inside the kitchen. They decide they're going to vote for Ron Funches out. And that's when Rob says in front of the other two traitors that he thinks Ron is a faithful. Lisa Rinna is like,
Well, duh.
Candace starts
He's a
doing
faithful
the,
duh.
oh my God. And yeah, that's the beginning of the end for that group of faithfuls.
For
See,
that group
I
of traitors,
like
do you mean?
what's that? Or the traders, thank you. That the broken traders trust is so disappointing to me. I
It,
wanted to see them go together as a team.
I know. And I feel like Candace teased that there's someone she wants to cuss out, and I think it's Rob. So I do think in the coming episodes, there's going to be some major fallout in the Traitors turret. Again, I wish he had time to explain it because he did it in an ASMR way in that kitchen with the three of them, why he did it. But I wish he had time to explain the logic. I guess in the next turret he can. But because, like, seriously, if he wrote down anyone else's name, I got where Rob was coming from. I receive men always side with men 100%, but like this is the context of the castle and the game. And I think he made the correct decision. I really, to keep the scent off of Candace and Lisa, 100% he made the right decision.
See,
If
as
you
somebody who loves Ron Funches, I think it would have made sense for him to vote out Ron, just saying, there's been a case for him consistently since day one. We keep on doing this. As much as I hate to do it, I'm going to have to vote out Ron just because we would get so many answers. I think he should, and I hate to say it because I love Ron so much, but I think he should have turned on him and kept the faithful, or excuse me, the traitors together.
yeah, I could see a case for that. I just don't think Rob morally could do that. Like sometimes like it is a game, but also like you have to sleep with yourself at night. And I think because had confided in him some things about like feeling displaced, and then obviously again at the top of the episode I mentioned that's horrible that this man is eating by himself. That's freaking
That's
horrible.
disgusting on everybody in that castle to allow that to happen. There's no reason that man is
Even
sitting by
Michael
himself,
Rappaport was eating with people.
shoveling with people.
And so, oh my gosh, it just breaks my freaking heart. And every person has been known what it's felt like to be alone amongst people. Everyone
Oh,
listening to this knows how that feels. And if you haven't, kudos. But
yeah,
like,
lucky you.
but man, that broke my heart. So I can't,
Yeah.
I don't know that I would have written his name down either, especially if we got closer. I don't know that I could do that to him. And it was so sad, but cute when he was going around saying, like, I know I'm leaving. I'm just going to say thank you to each one of you at this table. And that was really, really cute. He knew his time was up.
He- Poor baby. I love him so much. When they were back at the library, we saw Johnny really, really strategizing again. He was
Yeah.
getting everybody on Team Colton. Everybody was in until Rob enters. And he's like, hold on, what are you guys doing? What are you doing? And then we go to the amazing confessional where he goes, they're planning a coup. And I'm
Oh,
just like,
yeah.
make me love this man anymore. Oh, wait, you can't.
I saw some
So
theories,
go
speaking
ahead.
of Johnny. People are saying that because he was so heavy this episode, his days are numbered. And
I always worry about that.
I think so because to Lisa and them's credit, they can't vote Colton out.
Mm-mm.
So Colton's going to catch wind of Johnny being the ringleader, and I bet tides change because we haven't even seen Lisa and Johnny as like a dynamic duo yet. That has to come soon.
Right. Oh gosh. Well, that'll be some TV I can't wait
I
for.
know.
We talked about the transition from the hall to the fireplace. Colton looking like he wanted to literally pounce Lisa Rinna. Lisa's consistent. She's like, I'm not a traitor. I'm not a traitor. I'm a faithful. I'm a faithful. She won't budge. Finally, we're at the round table. The silence is so long. Mr. Ron Funches says, somebody's got to say something.
Yeah.
And I love Mark Ballas for just jumping in. He did it
Yeah.
so kindly. He was so respectful to Rob, I think, at this point. Like, we have so much evidence against you, but we still want to give you an opportunity to say, like,
Yeah.
why you're faithful and not a traitor. And Dorinda at that point jumped right on in and said, "Why can't you just engage like in these rules of engagement? You're not doing the job." And that clocked something earlier. Ron had said earlier in the season is that, and he said it again this episode, but he wants to make his kids proud. I have a feeling that whatever happened with Dorinda, she said something really, really bad. And he had two things. He was either going to engage and say something that he was going to later regret because it's going to make the news, or he could just leave, not follow the rules of engagement as per Dorinda Medley. That's what he chose to do. And Dorinda, I think, got deeply offended that he didn't care to get to know her.
I think so
Like,
too.
that deeply offended her.
I don't know why.
Like, that's just who she is, though.
But like you're
Like, why
not on a
wouldn't you
girls
want?
trip. Like I could
Right,
see if you were on Housewives, maybe that is the lens she's speaking from because historically speaking, Dorinda has been very hard. I think we've talked about this. She's been very hard on the newcomers in the group, Tinsley, etc. So I think that's like a trigger for her. I don't know why. But yeah, she took extreme issue with Ron not wanting to be friends with her, basically is what it boils down to.
right,
And it's like, why was that so bothersome to you that you immediately clocked him as a traitor if he doesn't? That's not the game. Like, you guys are not on a girls' trip. You're in
right.
what?
Exactly. And him just not wanting to get to know your life story, I just don't know how that's offensive at all. But to Dorinda, it was very offensive. The heat,
Noted.
yeah, exactly,
Literally
exactly.
noted.
Heat went over to Colton. I appreciated Kristen saying this. He has an idea. He starts at the end and then reverse engineers it. And I feel people do that with the media, with a lot of things like in the political world, the reverse
Yeah,
engineering mindset. And it's like, no, you don't look for evidence to support your theory. You look at the evidence and then draw a theory. So
correct.
he's doing it backwards, and she called him out on that. So thank you, Kristen Kish, for that.
Kristen just hates this man. And
You know what?
same.
She's got a good picker.
She does.
She
And that's
smells
the
his
thing.
BS.
And I'm like, even if you're not a traitor, you're just like not a good person. And I don't want you in my castle.
Well, and it
Like,
literally at that moment on the show, that's when Colton likened him to Rappaport, as in he's just going around, he's saying too
exactly.
much. He's not as abrasive as Michael Rappaport. He's in a nicer
Certainly.
package, but he's
Certainly.
got a lot of those really gross qualities that they all unanimously voted out of the castle last week.
Yeah.
We said Ron went around the table complimenting everybody. He never either got to Dorinda or skipped Dorinda. We will never
Well,
know.
because apparently she said something so egregious that we'll never see, and I want to know what it is.
We need to know. Dorinda, I know you have a podcast.
Yeah, she
You're on
does.
Sirius XM. If it's ever going to come out, it's going to come out on your show.
Oh, a
If
million
you ever want to
percent.
tell anybody, you can tell us.
Or
We
you
will be
can
the you
tell
can,
your good friends at Taste of Reality the
yes,
scoop.
tell us. You can give us the exclusive Dorinda medley. Tara, at this point, when everybody's like going to vote for Ron at the table, I love Tara Lipinski for this. She said, guys, stop. Ron is not a traitor. This man is a faithful. And then people started like saying, yeah, I don't believe he's a traitor
I think
either.
him like saying something to everybody around the table really changed the tide for a lot of people because again, it is a game, but sometimes it's really hard to separate like what can you in good conscience do in the game. I think I would struggle to separate it. I really, really, truly would. Because the second that this man, A, has been ostracized from everybody, and he's like, I know I'm done. Thank you guys all for like allowing me to do this. Imani, you're a gem. Ashley, you know what I mean? Like, Ashley, you're great.
Right.
Like that, I would be like, okay, I'm not writing your name down. Like, I'm a POS. Like, truly, I'm not writing your name down. You could be a traitor, and I'm not writing your name down at this point. Like,
Right.
I just couldn't do
Well,
it.
a lot of nine people were able to, or Ron got 6 votes.
Here's
So,
here's the thing too though. I will say they should have stuck with their gut. They should have stuck with the plan. That said, like Johnny, you were onto something. You guys, if you're gonna play the game as faithfuls and you're gonna do it from a numbers perspective, you guys have to stay on par or on track, whatever the term is, because
Yeah.
how are you guys ever gonna go forward with numbers and there's no trust when everyone's opinion changes at the round table? No, whatever you guys discussed, if you're gonna play this game as like a band of faithfuls, you have to do it at the round table.
Absolutely. And they did it during the mission. Again, they all said, we're not taking shields. We're going to not do this. We're going to do it differently. We're going to be faithfuls and really throw the traitors for a loop. And the faithfuls minus Yam Yam, who would absolutely take a shield if given the
I think is it
opportunity.
Jam Jam or Yam Yam?
Jam Jam. It's one way written and the other
Yeah,
down.
it's with
I
the
will always
Y,
get it mixed up. So I apologize in
aka when I
advance.
said Jan for Dancing with the Stars and
Oh,
it was
instead of
Jan.
Jan.
So
Oh,
it's confusing.
well, yeah, I mean, yes, it was, but I should know. Um, it was so funny after the round table, after Alan left, Colton and Lisa are just going at it again.
Yeah.
Johnny's like, "Oh my God, I have hives." We go into the castle. He wanted a housewife. He got a housewife. He got Lisa effing Rinna.
Yeah.
But then we got a flashback, which I thought was so interesting. In the middle of this, we go right on back to the turret from the night before. And they knew this whole day that they were going to have to do a murder in plain sight at this banquet. So they knew this banquet was coming. They had to keep it on the down low. And all this happened, them knowing that later on this brooch is going to
Yeah.
need to be touched by a faithful. So then we go back into real time. Candace, Lisa, and Rob are all in the kitchen, ASMR fighting. And where do you think they go from here?
I think it was said that Lisa's gonna wear the pendant or the thing.
Right. Do you think that because it seemed like Candace was like, as far as like keeping Rob in good faith, like in good with the traders,
Yeah.
it sounded like she was like, hey, it's up to you, Rob, if you keep this going or not. So I feel like even though he like really ticked them off. I don't think that they would rule him out, like discard him. Because if I was Candace or Lisa, I'd be like, okay, so how are we getting Rob out next?
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see. I do think Lisa's gonna wear the necklace as said, and I'm very curious because if I'm in the castle, I'm not touching anything weird. I'm not like leaning into. So I'm very curious to see what comes of this banquet with murder in plain sight and who falls victim. Again, if Candace wore it though, or no, Lisa, if Lisa wears it, she could get Johnny out because Johnny was like interested in her fashion.
Right. You
Again, I
know, the
saw that
easiest thing would
theory.
do is to like when nobody's looking, drop it somewhere and be like, "Oh, I lost my brooch. Can you guys help me find it?"
That would be a tip off though to me. I don't know what I would
Well,
do.
like if the brooch, like maybe not be like, "Oh, I lost my brooch," but just like all of a sudden not have your brooch on anymore and be like, "Oh crap." Like if somebody was like, "Where's your brooch?" Be like, "I don't
I
know."
think what I would do is like I would clasp it loosely, and then whoever I want out, I'd be like, "Oh shoot, my necklace. Do you mind putting like fixing this?" So just like very cavalierly,
Uh-huh.
and we'll see. I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens next week, and we are already at episode 7. We're halfway through.
I don't
I'm
want it to
sad.
end.
I don't want it to end either. But did you have any other final thoughts before we wrap up this episode?
They made it look, and it was probably just editing, but they made it look like people were walking by and listening to the
They did.
traders.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't think anybody was listening, but they teased us with that. So that would be a really interesting switch. We've never heard anybody literally get caught conspiring.
Yeah, I
So
think it was Kristen and one other person. Like they started, like they turned and
I
pivoted
think it was
towards the
Johnny
kitchen.
and definitely Kristen. I think it was Johnny and Kristen.
Yeah, so I'm just like, oop. I think that's editing though. But I mean, we'll see next week.
Yeah, we have to wait till next week.
But that's another episode from us, you guys. As always, put your thoughts in the comments below, and we will see you next week.